And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
I don't want you to protest, I don't want you to riot, I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being, God damn it! My life has value!
We get together, have a few laughs.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So, individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
Sweet. So you can track yourself, but the point really is that they can track you.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Iowa Talk, guys.
I got Teepee sitting across from me.
I'm sitting next to Erock.
I'm sitting across from you guys.
Yeah. Guys.
I'm Theo.
And we're here with Theo and Erock and Teepee. So that was a conversation apparently had, and you can hear the chuckling at the end at the World Economic Forum. Stay tuned, folks.
Who was this guy's name?
Social credit scores are coming.
That was Alibaba Group President J. Michael Evans at the World Economic Forum.
Alibaba Group. They've had their fingers in some stuff, huh?
Well, it's pretty much like Chinese Amazon, right? I mean, kind of like find out who manufactures it and get the goods.
So, yes, and that's why they're wanting to track. So if they're going to be using this technology in China, chances are of it coming through to Amazon is pretty likely. I mean, we already have those buttons in your house, right? You can click it. Hey, Siri, I'm out of dish soap. And you click the button, and it orders you dish soap to your house. You don't even have to do nothing, right?
I can't remember where it was that I heard it.
It's Amazon.
Earlier this week. But somebody was talking about how Alex Jones was saying our dishwashers are going to be listening to us.
Yeah, we talked about it. So just like what Alex Jones had said like 10 years ago when I stopped listening to him because I thought he was crazy.
Yeah, it was you that said it.
Yeah, the dishwasher is going to be listening to you.
Yeah, and it's happening.
Yeah.
It's actually happening. It's not a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Weird, right?
Well, it's just like Facebook when you're on there and you talk about something, then an hour later you start getting ads.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yep. Oh, that's not even Facebook. So my old phone system that I had, I was at a friend's house. His wife came home from Target. He asked her how was shopping at Target. Blah, 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 blah. They talked about Target, this and that. I go get on Facebook. Guess what ads I have popping up?
Target.
Walmart.
Target ads. Yeah, weird. Target.
We are in no way, shape, or form sponsored, sanctioned, or condoned by Target or any other.
We're just real life fellas,
companies
living.
But no, so imagine that. So that's what they do. And I often say this: Orwell had it wrong in that it was going to be totalitarian to the point that it was going to have to be like completely forced on people. But the way it actually is sort of going down, we are buying the technology that is our enslavement. Is that a fair statement?
Well, because they sell it to us as such a convenience.
Yeah. You can measure. Listen to this guy.
The propaganda they feed into our laziness.
Well, listen to this guy, the Alibaba president. There, he's you can do your own part to measure yourself.
To track your eating. This is so you're not so obese.
Ultimately, to measure how you impact the environment, because
Right.
that's most important.
That's the thing he did. Yeah, that's the key words he used there was your carbon footprint, because they already want to tax people for breathing.
Cattle mostly for breathing.
Oh
The
yeah, they
farting.
want to
Farting.
tax the farmers for their cattle farting. Like seriously, like this is the real life we're living in.
Isn't it interesting? Even your credit cards, though, the statements break down every category of what you are buying. Have you seen that?
That's true. Yes.
ESG.
So you can help. It's to help better for you to track your budget, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
the
Not
data's
all
there,
credit
yeah.
cards are offering that services, but yeah, I've seen that.
Yet another construct of the World Economic Forum actually is this ESG, and they're breaking down what you spend money on, and then they're getting ready to issue a score
Yes.
based on that.
Yes.
Your in ESG, environmental, social, and governance.
Mm-hmm.
So how good are you to the environment based on what you are purchasing, because it's all measured.
Yeah.
You're
What are you
socially,
doing?
what are you doing socially? And are you with the right people? And then governance,
Which
are you falling in line?
Which is really wicked. I mean, when you think about it, because
Yeah, wicked's a pretty fitting
we
word.
all want to help out our own communities that we live in, right? I mean, at least you should be wanting to be contributing to your community to add value and add positivity to the area that you live in, to your own environment, right? I mean,
naturally,
you should want to do that. I mean, before there was the internet and all these other stuff, I mean, I remember growing up going to block parties in the neighborhoods and stuff at my dad's house when he lived in a suburb, right? I mean, it was awesome.
A suburb what
Of a town, because I grew up
a town in Iowa.
in Iowa, yeah. Because I grew up on a farm with my mom and stepdad, and my
Sure.
father lived in the suburb. And
Yeah.
I remember going. I mean, we had 4th of July parties and stuff we went to, and the block parties, and it was all about community and stuff. It was awesome, but that's really gone away a lot, unfortunately, nowadays. Going into that, so you mentioning that, Epoch Times, whatever you want to call it, just dropped a article June 12th, and it said, "Are social credit scores coming to America? States fight back with laws banning political discrimination by banks, insurance companies." And it goes on to talk about new technologies being developed to track people's behavior and generate environmental and social credit scores similar to what they've been doing in China. If you remember the Hong Kong protests, that was another big thing. They're like, we don't want to be involved in that. Like, because remember, this happened in our lifetime. The British Empire still owned Hong Kong.
1997, that ended.
So this, and then just recently, what happened, what was that, 2017, 16? Remember they were having like Trump save us, all those protests in Hong Kong? Because the British Empire officially pulled completely out of there and allowed the U.S.
Technically in 1997 they did.
Okay.
I believe it was 97.
But we just witnessed
But
Erock. Can you
fact
check me on that?
So what it was in 97, the 100-year contract from mainland China for administration of Hong Kong ended. It was like 1897 to 1997. And yeah, the Chinese were pretty good at playing the slow game, but they sure are clamping down on Hong Kong now. They're, to what is it that they say? One country, two systems?
Yeah.
Something to that effect, right?
Something to that effect. I know in 1998, that's when Hong Kong...
One system. One system, man.
No.
China's going to make it one system.
Well, obviously, they need it to be one system. One nation under God. Right?
Well, God is the party in their case, I believe.
God is their government. Government is their God. That's what they really want here in America, too. And,
so, yeah, the globalists be globalist,
Yeah, they want to track everything we do. They want to tax us for it. And
keep your eye out for digital currencies coming from central banks. And
it's already happening.
That's central bank digital currency, right?
USDC.
CBDC, yeah.
The U.S. Treasury Department already has one. The USDC, U.S. dollar coin.
All that crazy conspiracy theory stuff is just coming true, ironically, right?
Weird. Maybe that guy who lived on Ruby Ridge wasn't so crazy after all, huh?
No, I don't think he was crazy.
Ted Kaczynski was right. Kaczynski. I'm not saying Ted Kaczynski was right with bombing people. That's obviously evil and fucked up. Okay, that's obviously evil and messed up, and I would never, ever want anybody to have to go through that or do something like that. What I'm saying is Ted was afraid of man mixing with machine, and
I think we're calling it singularity at this point. And
that's transhumanism. Yeah, singularity is another word for it. Yeah, transhumanism.
Well, singularity is actually where AI no longer needs humans. But transhumanism.
You ever heard of a man named Ray Kurzweil?
No.
Okay.
No.
He was a CEO of Google back in like 2013, I believe, and some other times. This man, brilliant man. He has 2 degrees from MIT. He has the money, the technology, and the team, and he's been working on technology to be able to upload his brain to the internet. He has been taking, Wired did an article back in 2014 or 15, I believe, about that, where he said he takes, quote, 150 vitamins a day to sustain his body so he can upload his consciousness to a computer.
Elon Musk has been working the neural implant thing too, right?
This is all tying into that.
Yeah.
People want what the Matrix. Imagine just sitting down and plugging in and learning any skill you ever wanted.
The metaverse.
The metaverse, yeah, whatever.
Yes, because virtual reality is way cooler than real reality.
No, man. That's what we're losing. It's gotta
I don't believe in that either. I think virtual reality is crap. All this stuff, it's a form of enslavement, in my personal opinion, and that's where that's leading to.
Mind enslavement.
Absolutely. Yep.
We've talked about Edward Bernays before.
Propaganda.
And the book Propaganda.
Yep.
You know, there's a way to get most people to do the regulating themselves, right? Make it inconvenient for them socially to talk about certain things.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause when it's not keeping up with the Joneses, you should just keep your mouth shut.
Some people say don't talk about religion or politics. But what else should we really be talking about?
Those are like the 2 most probably important things you should talk about, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not down with religion so much more as a relationship, but people should at least research it and come to their own understanding and their own viewpoint of it, right?
Or not even necessarily religion, but just philosophy. What do you think?
General.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Because I've met plenty of atheists that no, hey, we're here. This is a good thing. Let's make the best of it. You know what I mean? People.
Oh yeah, I have too. I have.
But it's not necessarily going down some.
Here's my thing: condemnation before investigation is the height of all ignorance, right? And that goes with anything. So by all means, I'm all about, hey, and you and I may research or look into the same thing and come to the 2 separate conclusions. But at least we did our due diligence and dug into it, right? You know?
Well, to an extent, right?
To an extent. But what I'm saying is...
As much as working guys can.
Working them things. Anyway, just saying, there's stuff out there, you know?
Yeah. We started on Davos, Switzerland. I believe that the World Economic Forum met within the past, I don't know, it was what?
A couple weeks.
As of late May 2022, you know, but.
Yeah, like I said, it's scary. This comes down to people fighting back, voting, making sure you're the people that represent you politically know that you don't want this crap in your life. You don't want the food that your children are eating to be tracked by the government.
Yeah.
Or the food that you're eating to be tracked by the government.
Well, really, let's say what it is. It's consumption.
Overconsumption.
Right? Or how much you are consuming.
Of anything.
Kind of like they would on a farm.
And is that going to stop people from being fat?
No. It's a form of control.
Well, yeah, you know what's a bigger form of control, though? And I think actually what we should be focusing on here is people won't be fat when there aren't grocery stores as we know them, because that could easily happen. It's not that far-fetched to think
You're
that
absolutely
there
right.
aren't grocery stores, these mega warehouses like we're used to. Don't get me wrong. Costco's like one of the coolest places in the world to go. They're not sponsoring us. We're not affiliated in any way, right?
I was just there, yeah.
But that place is a freaking miracle, man. Look,
I wouldn't say a miracle.
Well, I mean, just imagine from the way that the building is constructed to the way that they are logistically bringing all of this stuff in as affordable as they can, really.
That's just human engineering and logistics.
I know, but
that's smart people getting their brains together and coming up with great stuff.
But it's very fragile.
It's
way more fragile than
It's all built on the
anybody
supply chain. It's all built on the supply chain.
It's so much more fragile than anybody's ever given it credit for.
Look what happened with the toilet paper.
And these people, like the guy that we have opened up with, are exploiting it.
Oh, why wouldn't they? If they can make money off of it.
It's not make money. It's dominate.
Yeah.
Money is just the byproduct of domination.
Domination.
Do you think Genghis Khan liked money? Or do you think that he liked dominating, conquest, and then women when it was all done for the day?
Well, the women part was also part of the conquest and conquering and dominating because he was spreading his seed. So it's even though I'm dying, my bloodline is carrying on, and you can never get away from me.
I'll live forever.
And pretty much. That's a form of immortality, if I ever heard one, you know. Moving on.
Dominating the world. Where are we going from the World Economic Forum?
Unfortunately, we all know about recent events down in Texas. And also, we always know that whenever a bad person has bad intentions to do bad things, bad stuff's going to happen, right?
Evil
things are going to happen. Sandy Hook, the same day Sandy Hook occurred in our country back in, what was that, 13, 14? Under President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. The same day in China, a man entered a school with a butcher's knife and stabbed like 20-something children.
I remember hearing about that. I wonder how many people haven't, but I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah. Same exact day, obviously in America, what happened in Sandy Hook, since it was the worst school shooting since Columbine in history. And then the second one happened just recently in Texas. So the two worst school shootings in U.S. history happened under a certain individual's watchful eye.
Yeah, pretty much like back-to-back administrations, if you will.
Weird. Just saying. Why does that keep happening? It's odd. Obviously, whenever that happens, there's always going to be a gun control push from the left. And then the right's always going to counter with their stupid horse shit from the NRA. The right's always going to counter with the same stuff with the NRA, the same talking heads.
Meaningless BS.
Yeah.
Meaningless BS.
It's always going to, and the Second Amendment's around for a while, or for a reason, not a while. Maybe a while.
Not really even a while, no.
Bad people are going to do bad things. Good people do good things and stop bad people.
So what's with Canada and Trudeau proposing no handguns? How does that fit into all this?
Well, I think Trudeau is just a training ground for the empire. Kind of like North Korea is for the Empire of China.
I'm glad you brought that up. If you look at Trudeau, like other people, I want to say actually, maybe we've mentioned it in previous recordings, former presidential candidate and U.S. representative from the state of Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh. Yeah.
They attended the World Economic Forum Young Leaders conference, or what will you?
Yep.
So Tulsi Gabbard is obviously
a Russian asset.
A Russian asset.
Duh.
I tell you what, she is a really, really good saboteur. If she is not just
controlled opposition,
if she is not a genuine, good-hearted person, that's
been bamboozled,
like disagree on guns and stuff like we do, probably with her, but I think she realizes like the power play, that's going on, but a guy like Trudeau, he's totally with the globalist plan.
Absolutely.
And so they are kind of like
that guy's got some weird history.
So they are a global. They're probably like the test run for the United States, and this is just my theory.
That's what I think too.
This is just my theory. They're the test run for the United States, and Trudeau is the guy. You asked about gun control in Canada and what Trudeau's doing, right, Erock?
And what's the handgun?
So what it is you can't import handguns anymore, I believe, into Canada or sell or sell. There's no movement of handguns.
I would
now.
be.
Was
I
there
would
like a
not
mass
be
shooting with handguns in Canada.
No, there was in Uvalde, Texas.
This all stemmed. Yeah,
no, not with handguns.
My point exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And which makes no sense. So anybody else with a critical thinking brain should be saying the same thing that Erock just pointed out was, if there was no shooting that happened with handguns in Canada, why is Canada making this decision? And that's a good question.
We've been talking about our theory that they are the test ground.
I think so.
To try to make it happen in the United States. And the fact of the matter is, guys, is that if you were to get rid of school shootings, as bad as this sounds, it's nothing in gun crime. Gun crime, it was 18 kids in an elementary school or whatever, which is
terrible.
Horrible and terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
But violence on this level happens in so many other areas.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago, like 40 people were shot in Chicago alone.
Like within easy driving distance from where we're at.
And Chicago has, you can get there in a day. Chicago has some of the strictest gun control laws in the country. They should be, if gun control laws actually worked, they should be the shining example that everyone should use as to, hey, look at these strict laws implemented here. It's working, but it's not. And their excuse is, well, because we need more gun control. That is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Am I wrong?
I don't know if that is actually a confirmed Einstein quote.
I never said it was an Einstein quote.
But I've heard it was an Einstein quote.
Oh, okay. Well,
but yeah, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Right. And there's we just need more. So if Canada wants to get rid of handguns, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Start with the police.
Well, yeah, it should be across the board then, right?
Absolutely. Don't talk about it, be about it.
That's the thing.
Lead by example.
It's almost like economic law, really, that if there's some power play like that at a federal level or state level or something like that, somebody wants a monopoly on something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for instance, the liquor or beer or whatever, I think we've brought up a few times. There's only so much you can get in Iowa.
Yep.
But you go to neighboring states and you can get all sorts of different stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Well, somebody's lobbying for rules somewhere.
Right. Why can certain things not be purchased?
Yeah, why can certain things not be brought into the state and distributed? Well, the reason they're doing so is because they're making a ton of money.
So look at the baby
off of a monopoly.
Yeah, look at the baby formula. All of a sudden, they fast-tracked all this foreign baby formula to come into the country. The FDA did because they could, but before they wouldn't allow it just because. But they're then like, oh, yeah, we're going to shut down this one company that produces 40% of the country's baby formula and then not expect negative results.
So I think the answer to your... I don't know if I can't even remember if you asked a question or, but yeah, I don't think Erock. I don't think that the police are intending to give up their handguns in Canada, even though the movement of handguns in private hands is illegal now in Canada, right?
Well, yeah,
handguns.
Handguns, and I think that the police should give it up too. It should be across the board. I agree with Erock.
Just like nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
How are they gonna?
Yeah, I mean, that's such the argument of guns is such a dichotomy because it's like, yeah, no, seriously, what do firearms actually offer in taking over a government? Because, yeah, they do have nukes. I mean, they could just end it all.
Allegedly. Hopefully that never happens.
So it's like there's something else behind. And what I think it is behind wanting to take individuals' firearms away, and that is the right to self-defense. They want to take the right to self-defense out of people's hands.
Yeah.
And so going further with George Takei, the Star Trekker.
The Trekker.
Oh.
The Trekkie.
Did you hear his tweet the other day?
No.
Here it is.
I didn't read it either.
Oh, I didn't. It says, crazy thought, but those 20 million AR-15s now in this country could sure arm a lot of Ukrainians.
Well, how do you get those AR-15s out of the hands of the people that own them?
Yeah. George. How about this? Why would we're already sending AR-15s / M4s and M16s over there? So why would we have to have the U.S. citizens give up their arms? And there's 333 million people in this frickin' country. I highly doubt there's only 20 million AR-15s.
But you should give yours up for the Ukrainians.
No way.
So
yeah, that's what they're saying.
Canada,
so when Russia invades us, you can't use them.
Yeah.
No thanks.
That's pretty stupid.
But how many guns did we leave behind in?
Yeah.
Afghanistan. That's a good point.
Nobody's brought that up. How much could all of the crap that we left in Afghanistan help out the Ukrainians? No, they bailed.
Well, see, we didn't know this was going to happen, see.
You know what would have been even better? If they could have used the intelligence that they already didn't use when we were leaving Afghanistan that ended up in 13 effing Marines, or was it 12 Marines and a corpsman getting killed?
Suicide bombed.
Yeah. This government in D.C. is kind of just, they've kind of lost their authority to be part of any of these discussions, in my opinion. But they're the ones that have all. Yeah, they're the ones that have all the power. They're the ones that, I suppose if they want to try to take 20 million, according to George Takei's quote, of pieces of private property away from 20 million Americans,
law-abiding U.S. citizens.
Then I guess that's what.
It'd be more helpful.
Good luck.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Just send your thought. And the funny thing about this whole Ukraine thing is really nobody cared until the mainstream media told you to care about them. I mean, remember the Civil War in 2013, 14 when all that stuff happened?
In Ukraine?
Yeah. I was following it. Not a whole lot of people cared until they were told to care. So, just saying.
Yeah. Most people are led by media in this country.
Yep.
And that's, I guess, you know what? Do you remember in the 2012 election when Mitt Romney got like hot mic?
Yeah.
Saying, hey, you guys are my base. All those people that are getting all the welfare money and whatnot, they're lost. You remember that? But he's talking to all these like rich Republicans, quote unquote.
Yep.
I guess we're not running for office, the point is. So we are really only reaching out to a select few people. We want to get as large of an audience as we can, naturally. But only a few people are really going to get this, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I'd like to think there's, I'd like to think there might be a lot more people looking for the truth or different perspectives of what's going on. But
we'll never know.
We'll never know. Anyways, moving on.
No, we will know.
Last thing I want to talk about here.
What do you got here?
Inflation rose 8.6% in May. Which is
inflation.
The highest since 1981. Okay. Consumer prices index rose 8.6% in May from a year ago. the highest increase since December 1981. Core inflation, excluding food and energy, rose 6%. Both were higher than expected. So that's excluding food and energy. So what's the actual number at? Because we've all seen it. Everybody's been witnessing it at the grocery store, at the gas pump.
Wait, Teepee, that's excluding the two just heaviest hitters.
Yeah.
Or two of the heaviest hitters.
That everybody is consuming.
Food
the most
and
of.
energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right up there with, housing. Right up there with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is that what it's called? Or Maslow's?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Laszlo.
What is it?
Laszlo.
Laszlo
was from GTA, dude.
No. Laszlo was from that 80s movie with Val Kilmer, Real Genius. Laszlo, the dude, you remember he lived in the ducts?
Is that who they were making fun of on Grand Theft Auto?
Anyway, the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
You need food, water, shelter, and love.
Which you ain't getting none of that.
Yeah. So...
Right. Surging food, gas, and energy prices all contributed to the gain, with fuel oil up 106.7% over the past year.
Yep, that's striking right at the heart of what most people need to spend money on to
That's why
live a good modern life.
Rocco's modern life. That's why they want you to buy a electric vehicle to help save the environment, and so you don't have to buy all these fossil fuels that are costing your family money.
Maybe so they can shut it off with roving blackouts too.
Maybe
so you can't travel.
Maybe we can go back to we'll go into a developing country style where we got to do rolling blackouts across the country.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think they're talking about that.
Were they
already? Yeah.
Oh.
This summer. Talking about roving blackouts all over the U.S. Not just California. You guys heard of that?
No. Have not.
Well, I'm not going to.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. What you got, Erock?
I don't know. Just wouldn't you think that with all these electric cars coming on, it would lower the price of gas, the supply and demand? Wouldn't that go down?
That's a good point. Actually, I never thought about that. You would think. But apparently it has no effect. It has no effect on fossil fuels.
Or are they just always going to keep it high?
I believe that the plan is to eradicate fossil fuel consumption for the average person.
And how much does the military go through?
Right.
The hypocrisy,
or the government in general.
I think what you're bringing up is, like we've been talking on and off about the World Economic Forum and whatnot, but I think that's just the plan to get everybody to stay still. Like the pandemic was a test run of what they wanted the social to be like. Don't go anywhere. Don't stay in your own little area, don't move around, don't
bubble.
But like in Europe, the politicians there were all partying. And
oh yeah.
Well, they were doing
in Europe.
They were doing that here.
Gavin
too.
Newsom and here,
California.
French Laundry.
Well, everywhere. Yeah, everywhere, man.
Detroit, Chicago.
That's the thing. The people at sort of our level, the ground level, that support all of this and this agenda, they have no idea what's behind it. And they have no idea how absolutely two-sided the people behind it are.
When's Air Force One going electric?
Yeah, exactly.
How did he get to Jimmy Kimmel or whatever?
What does it burn? It burns like 30,000 gallons of fuel an hour, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. These people cannot be
they're so hypocritical.
Yeah, the final authority on how much fossil fuels we consume.
Rules for thee, not for me.
That's exactly what it is. As we've talked about before, TP.
Yep.
The ruling class. A ruling
Yeah.
class. There is a ruling class, Erock, wouldn't you say? And
Do as I say, not as you do.
yeah.
Not as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Well,
Shame
when
on
you
me
become a
once,
parent.
shame on me twice.
Well, that's where we're at the point now. Is we've been, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And we're at the point where we've been fooled
George
over
Bush.
and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over.
The George
and-
Bush quote.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
The George Bush
gotta get
quote
it
is
right.
way better on that.
Oh, okay.
Fool me what? I guess what I learned today is I think that we need to start thinking more forward on like a community-based sort of
Yeah.
direction, like gardens and helping each other out with food and
Learning how to preserve food.
preserve food, and everything's getting more expensive that's going to be traded in dollars, and I think that's the point. They've been inflating it for their own largesse for decades, well over a century now, to fund wars
Yep.
and warfare and welfare. That's what we started on, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we ended on the last one or one of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess this concludes our show for the time. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Iowa Talk, guys. Out.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.